Alright. Hi, everybody. I always say alright when I'm about to start an episode, which is probably a really weird way to start a channel. Alright, everybody, I'm going to talk about some stuff today and things. Alright, let's do it. Anyway. So today, happy Sunday, welcome back to Interceptor I was gonna say Interceptor researches, and also, like, I'm actually kind of paying attention to what I'm doing in the game just because I have to read. I can't just hold down X. What we're actually doing is, Final Fantasy Diaries. We're getting down near the end. There's only 3 games left to really talk about. So isn't that exciting? And after that, I don't know if I will record anymore.
Shut up. Just give us the sphere and we'll be
I
on our
think
way.
I'll start doing some of my Interceptor researches, with maybe an occasional Final Fantasy Diaries.
There you have it.
But we'll see.
What's that?
Today on Diaries, we're going to be talking about Final Fantasy XII. Final Fantasy XII is one of my favorites.
I had a little something prepared for just such an occasion.
It's in the top tier,
Knowing you.
but it is in the bottom of the top tier. It is number 5 for me. And really, what that means, so to explain my tier system, the first tier, games I really enjoy playing, games I really get into, games I really like to think about and when I want to replay. Mid-tier games are really enjoyable and, you know, I can generally follow them and, you know, they're pretty solid, but they're not my favorite. And then the bottom tier, they're fine, but either I was really confused about them or none of the characters really grabbed me, or I guess maybe not enough of the characters really grabbed me, because there's always something to like and something to really enjoy, but it's just all together.
How you like that? Not bad at all.
So 12, I really enjoy playing.
Just what do you think you're doing?
I had a lot of fun with the Gambit system and everything, but I could not follow the plot for most of it. So that just detracted a little bit. The amount of time I went,
Sorry,
what? Who are you? You know, just kind of takes away from the experience. But totally recommended. And once you really get into the lore, and if you do some outside reading, then it's amazing. So almost as a franchise, it's really quite high on my list.
Tough luck.
But it's only so high in relation to the others. So when it comes to played characters, I really, really love them all, which is kind of weird. Vaughn I'm pretty neutral on, but other than Vaughn, and I don't hate Vaughn, I'm just neutral on him. I just, you know, he's okay. But the other 5 main characters I adore. All of them in depth. So it's really hard to choose just one because they're all so different.
Did you see
And just
They totally
understanding the background and what happens to each of them
There's no such thing.
and how they're challenged as things go. Oh, it's just amazing.
Don't forget that notoriety can be a bad thing.
And who I
want to have fun.
ultimately
Just make sure you
picked
don't do anything to land us in hot
is
water, okay?
Fran.
Aww.
Fran
Where's the fun in being
is
plain old regular sphere hunters?
amazing.
Oh, what she said.
She
Oh no.
rejected the wood, everything that she knew, all of her family to explore
Can't be good.
and to really get to know everything about the world. And I think that's really amazing that despite everything and her love for the wood, like you can tell that she's really unpleased, displeased. She's really sad about leaving her family.
Doesn't appear to have any special functions.
But she still felt the need to go. And I think she is really fascinating because she has this kind of twin loyalty. The loyalty to the world and particularly to the wood. And her concern for the big picture. But also her absolute loyalty, trust, love for Balthier. And that makes her such a fascinating character because she is a really unique sky pirate, right? She isn't just about flash and show and everything like that.
Not a one.
She
As Machina go, it looks
has
dangerous.
a lot of depth beyond a need for adventure. And
Is it you?
I also really do just love her relationship to Balthier and her kind of
And
tolerating of Balthier's dramatics and just kind of going with it. I just love it. So I'm ultimately going to choose her. For favorite NPC, this was also hard because you have the judges, you have the
What if we donated the sphere to the study of
the other
spheres
knights, the
history?
other sky
That's what being a
pirates,
sphere hunter was originally about, right?
and Ondore, whom I really love, Hallam Ondore, the Marquis. He pretty much
You don't mind?
I've seen it.
has
Still pretty
such
shameless to saunter up and give back the sphere we just stole.
a unique
Our
role.
reputation is all but worthless if we do that. Our leaders too, no less.
I'm kind of getting distracted by the story in 10-2 as I'm trying to talk about 12. But Ondore, he just has a very precarious situation, and he plays the politics so well,
Now this isn't
and
any
working
fun at
behind
all.
the scene to help his
I'm really gonna let off
niece.
some steam.
And I know there's some debate on whether or not
Why don't we ask you
he's the biological uncle or uncle is a term of endearment. Personally, I like the
That sounds like an order, Yuna.
The exercise will do us good.
yeah, so personally I like that they're actually biologically related and that Halim is the
Hang tight while I go get
brother to Ash's mom. That's just me, but I have an elaborate headcanon for 12 and Ash's family, and that's where I go for it. But who I ultimately went with is Vossler. Vossler is the one who is helping Ash in the beginning of the game, and I just love the contrast to Bosch and what happens to Vossler and his relationship to Ash and Bosch is just so heartbreaking. Just when I think about it, I just get really sad. So I'm not going to think about it. And if you haven't played it, so you don't know, you should go play it. It makes me cry every time. For my favorite song, that was very difficult to pick. What I ultimately went with was the Sky City of Buzurba. And let me explain that 12 is not... This is going to sound terrible. 12 is not my favorite soundtrack. And that's because it's not Nobuo Uematsu. I mean, there's no other reason. Like, I just didn't get used to, you know, him not being there yet. But, obviously, it is an amazing soundtrack. It's classically composed, gorgeous, exciting, fully orchestrated. I mean, it's an amazing soundtrack. It was very well produced, but it doesn't stand out to me, and the tracks in general don't stand out to me as much as tracks in other games, for whatever reason. But I really like Buzurba. It's probably my favorite location in 12, which isn't an easy pick, because it's actually just a really great world. You can have a lot of fun just running around and exploring areas of Ivalice, which I think is why I like this game as much as I do. The plot more or less comes together by the end, but it isn't always easy to follow as you play it the first time. But Buzurba is a wonderful place and an important place, and I love it. So, everybody go listen to the soundtrack and let me know what you think of it. I think most people really like 12 soundtrack. So let me know what your favorite track from it is. I guess for me, a lot of my favorite soundtracks were actually, or a lot of my favorite tracks were actually just oh, we have to actually push the musicians. Oh, I see. Okay, so this will be fun. So, so a lot of people really like the soundtrack for 12, as I've been trying to say. And a lot of people have really favorite tracks to it. For me, it's more I prefer the ones that have melodies from old Final Fantasies because I'm an old curmudgeon. So, what can you do? As far as my favorite addition to the series, like many when it comes to 12, the lack of random battles. You have a gambit system, you just run around, you can see the monsters coming, and you just take it from there. And that's perfect. I've always really preferred that. That's one of the reasons why I love Chrono Trigger so much. But it's not a staple of Final Fantasy series. But 12 started the change, and that change continues in 13 and 15. And so, super happy that they introduced it here. So those are my really scattered thoughts about 12. That was not particularly great. I didn't even do the opening summary of it because I couldn't find one anywhere, and for me it's really hard to summarize 12. Rabanastre falls to the evil empire, and the princess has to gather up a crew and take it back.
Who's Len?
Essentially, yeah, that's the summary of 12. It's fantastic.
Why am I so mad?
The characters
Who
are
the heck is
fantastic.
Len?
And, you know, I feel like people really love it, but at the same time, it's not focused on a lot. So I have kind of a hard time gauging how popular it is.
I'm going to go to bed.
But I think it's definitely worth playing. It is getting a re-release in just a few weeks. Just over 2 weeks from today, there will be a remastered Final Fantasy 12 for the PlayStation 4. I've pre-ordered it. I even splurged and got the collector's edition, so I'm super psyched to replay it, especially now that I really know what's going on. I think I will enjoy it a lot more. It might move up my list from where it currently sits at number 5. I'll let you guys know in a couple weeks once I start replaying it. But until then, I hope you have a lovely Sunday. I hope it's nice where you are. I hope you can share some fun memories with someone today. But until next time, Interceptor out. With this dramatic cutscene. We should probably just get the whole dramatic cutscene in here. Oh noes, whatever will happen in Final Fantasy X-2. Find out next time on Final Fantasy Diaries.